Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Well, I've heard from Johnny. Johnny can't make it. I've heard from Cheesy. Cheesy can't make it. I haven't heard from Crawler. So you never know. We're holding out. We're holding out to see if Crawler makes it or not. But we didn't get a daily news show in today because of my birthday stream. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that showed up for that. It was honestly probably the best one I've ever had, and just so thankful for everybody. Everybody, if you're listening to this, I am thankful for you. So, um, just know that you are greatly appreciated. If you want to see the video that got put together by M, that had a lot of people leaving some different comments and stories and everything from um uh the 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 trip that we've had. It's been amazing. So, um, I'm looking at chat right now. Brian says, "How are you live? What time is it? It's almost 11. It's almost 11." Um, Joey says, "Work was crazy this week." Ah, you're good, buddy. You are good. But happy birthday! Thank you so much, Joey. Well, let's play the intro, and I'm holding out the hope. There's a chance that Crawler just magically joins us. So we'll just wait and see. But we'll jump into the news, and then our topic today is going to be taking a look at some of the best 3DS games and what we might want to see make its way over to the Switch or Switch 2. So we will take a look at that right after this. Okay. Well, I just heard from Crawler. He says leaving work now. So um we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll hang out, we'll chat, and so it'll be a good talk. And guys, there's so much new, like there's so many news articles. The With the Sony State of Play that came out, like there's a lot of games that are coming to Switch, and or well, all we can say is Switch at this point. We can assume maybe some of them are coming to Switch too. So we'll have to wait and see. But jumping right in here. PlayStation Vita exclusive mobile suite Gundam Seed Battle Destiny is getting remastered for Switch. So this was a oh, I'm sorry, Battle Suit. It's late, guys, so bear with me. Battle Suit Gundam Seed Battle Destiny is getting remastered for Switch and launching worldwide this May. So not a series I'm familiar with at all. Maybe somebody in the chat has a little bit of insight on this one, but kind of cool to see that like there's it's not just the fact that we're seeing um Vita games, you know, getting re-released on Switch, which is great, but like we're seeing there's the preservation of games, right? That this is going to be available again in and not only on Switch but also on PC. So I think that kind of stuff is fantastic. And the more the merrier. Like I've never touched this. It may not be my kind of game at all. It may not be something I would touch, but I know that they know there's obviously a fan base for this if they're going to be re-releasing it. So just taking a quick look at the article here, it says if you're looking for more Gundam action on the Switch, you might be interested in the upcoming release of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Battle Destiny Remastered. This game originally made its debut on PlayStation Vita in 2012 as a Japan exclusive, and Bandai Namco today confirmed the remaster will be getting a worldwide English localization release on the 22nd of May for Switch and PC. Here's a little blurb um, from the let's see, from just from their press release, I guess. It says year 70 of the cosmic era, the war began with the bloody Valentine tragedy. The fated battle returns. Cosmic era 71-73 The history of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Battle Destiny returns fully remastered. So the other thing with this, Nintendo has done this now. They released Fire Emblem, the first Fire Emblem game that was only on Famicom. They localized it, put it on Switch. Now, granted, it was only available for a limited time, which was unfortunate. But I love this kind of stuff. I love when we're seeing games that never were playable in the West. Now they're making their way over here. Like this to me is fantastic because it's a brand new experience for everybody here. So I love that kind of stuff. And honestly, again, maybe not necessarily a game that I'm going to play or be interested in, but I still love it, and I know that there's probably some fans out there that are very very excited for this. So, moving right along, we've already mentioned this, but I just want to mention it again just to make sure that nobody misses it. Nintendo expands the Switch Online GBA library with Wario Land 4, so it is available. And I've never played outside of the six golden coins. I've never touched a Wario Land game, and honestly, it wasn't like, you know, Wario was just the main villain in the six golden coins, Mario Land 2. But I've never played 3 or 4. I've never. I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's like the moment I see it's not Mario, I'm like I'm good. It was like it's it, it like Yoshi's story, right? On the Super Nintendo. The moment that I saw you were not playing as like regular Mario and doing regular Mario platforming, I checked out. I was like, I don't even care about this game. Like this is just not my thing. Now, watching the trailer for Wario Land 4 and seeing that this game almost takes on happy mechanics, I was like, huh, this has piqued my interest. So I do now having the opportunity to jump back in. I do want to check it out and see what it's like. So it looks like Joey says I'm playing it right now. A little different, but not bad. I love that. I love that. So Joey's also looking forward to our conversation later. It looks like 3DS never had one, so I'll have little to no input. Well, maybe, but as we go through the list, which I have an extensive list, I think you'll have something to say on that. I have no doubt based on just on uh, different um, different IP that we've seen on the system that Nintendo that were first party games. So I think there'll be plenty there. So whoa, you're saying you've never played Yoshi's Island? Not much of it. No, no, very very little. I think the first Yoshi game the first Yoshi game I played was the one on 3DS, I believe, and that's probably the one I've got the furthest in. Um, I've never played Yoshi's Island and nor Wario Land. Yep, I know. I'm sure you're so shocked right now. So, Joey is asking real quick, how do I get the Donkey Kong Country theme for Tetris 99? Just play it or pay? No pay. You have to get 100 points. So obviously, the better you do, the more points you get. I think if you go out within the first, I don't remember the scoring exactly, but it's something along the lines like if you at least make it to 50, I think you get like 3 to 5 points, maybe up to 10. Um, and after you get to 50, the points start to come in a little bit better. So just kind of keep that in mind. But it's not like you could probably do it in a relatively quick gaming sesh. Like it doesn't take super long as long as you can do okay. If you're just really terrible at the game, you just have to start it and basically die early on 100 times, and um, then you can unlock it that way as well. So yeah, but no, nothing, no, nothing to pay. You're good to go there. Moving along here, this is interesting, you guys. Um, Split Fiction developer knows a lot about Switch 2, but can't say anything yet. So Lights Joseph Fares says Nintendo fans will just have to wait. So if you guys remember this guy from the Game Awards who he did It Takes Two, or is that the name of it? Yeah, It Takes Two, and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and now he's got Split. He's working on Split Fiction that we learned about at the last Game Awards. Apparently has some. He's got information on Switch too, but he's not spilling the beans here. So it says Hazelight Studio has released award-winning co-op experiences like It Takes Two, and the next one on the horizon is Split Fiction. At the moment, it's locked in for various platforms, but we're still waiting to find out if it makes its way to Switch 2. Hazelight founder Joseph Fares was asked about the chance of a Switch 2 release during an interview with Gamertag Radio recently, and there was no official announcement at this stage. There could be an update in the future. It says, "We don't know yet." This is from Joseph, but hopefully in the future we will know more. He suggests Nintendo fans hold out for the upcoming Switch 2 Direct, while he also acknowledges the secrecy behind the system, which apparently already he already knows a lot about. His quote here says, "I mean, I know obviously a lot about it, Switch 2, but there's a lot of secrecy behind everything, so I can't say anything yet. But you will all know soon." Nintendo announced um, that they have a thing on April, so so we're going to know more about the console. Yep, great, cool. I'm so glad we're giving. There's not even a morsel there. There's nothing. There's nothing. So, Split Fiction will arrive next month in March. And will be followed by Nintendo's direct broadcast in early April. Given the fact that Switch 2 includes two controllers, this sci-fi fantasy narrative-driven action adventure could be the perfect way to start the new hybrid system's life. So, hopefully it looked very interesting. Honestly, like I was pretty impressed with how Split Fiction looks. So hopefully, hopefully we see it make its way to Switch 2. And I mean, kind of knowing him and knowing that, like, It Takes Two is on Switch and whatnot, like, it wouldn't surprise me if we see it there. But he's just being hush hush right now. So I found this kind of interesting. This is just a little random article from Nintendo Life, and um Takia Imura wants to see Star Fox Assault on Switch 2 with Steel Diver thrown in for good measure. So um this is a tweet that came out, looks like on X here, and I love it's basically got a picture of Star Fox, and it says today is the release anniversary of Star Fox Assault and Steel Divers Sub Wars. I hope both will be playable on Switch 2. And so Star Fox Assault came out on in 2005 on Valentine's Day, and Steel Diver Sub Wars came out on 2014 on Valentine's Day. And these like I didn't get a chance to play Steel Divers on 3DS, and so it'll be fun to talk about that, like, in in a little bit when we get into the best 3DS games. I never really played Star Fox Assault either, which, from my understanding, is a pretty decent game. Like, I think it's one of the more highly regarded Star Fox games, and so I would love to see. Honestly, I'd love to see both of these. I feel like Steel Diver Sub Wars would be a perfect NSO title, right? Because it's kind of not like, I don't even know that many people know about it. Like, I believe it was a launch, like a launch game for on the 3DS, if I remember correctly. And so it and Cryptic says Assault was the last great Star Fox game. So there you go. Cryptic also says, please keep these GameCube games coming. Yeah, yeah, I'm here for it. It's just that tough question of, do we want to see the remakes, or do we want to see um, GameCube games get on NSO, right? And where's that kind of that fine line? Because when we look at games like Metroid Prime Remastered, it's like, yo, some of these games really hold up. Like, they really hold up, and they look good. So in some cases, it would be great to see more than just NSO. But at the same time, we already pay for NSO, and be able to get access to some of these games again would also be incredible. So, um, and to give you guys a little bit of background on who this person is, he's a legendary Nintendo artist, and so that's uh, that's why he's tweeting these things out. So just kind of cool to see that. And again, I'm excited to get into our main topic of best 3DS games and what we want to see on Switch too, because I I honestly I need to keep my eye out more. I forget. I have these moments where I'm like, yo, I want to play Steel Diver. And the reason I want to play it, and I had to do a little bit of research, there was an NES game, a submarine NES game that I used to play with my best friend growing up. And that's really what draws me to Steel Diver, because I want to say it might be a continuation of that. And I'm just going to look it up real quick. NES sub. Uh, let's see. So I think it was called Silent Service, um, made by Sid Meier. Interesting. Interesting. So I always wondered if it was tied to Steel Diver or if they were completely separate. And I don't. I think they're uh, Steel Diver, the item from Smash. Yes, that is exactly right. So let me see here. Steel. Okay. So yeah, they're again, it was just a submarine game that I had a lot of fun with when I was a kid, which is why Steel Diver was like something I was very interested in checking out, and just never pulled the trigger on it. And then it kind of became one of those titles that I feel like was harder to find. Like, you weren't seeing it in retail, like you were most, first party games. So I love the fact, because don't you hold the submarine like a pistol, essentially, in Smash, and fire small torpedoes out of it? I'm pretty sure you do, which is just hilarious. So, but yeah, so there you go. Star Fox Assault and Steel Diver for Switch 2. Let's make it happen. Next up, Japanese charts. Donkey Kong starts to slip as Mario Party rolls back into pole position. Just taking a quick look at the charts here. Super Mario Party Jamboree back up at the number one spot with 1.175 point or uh t- oh my goodness, not point, it's a comma. But basically almost 1.2 million copies sold of Mario Party Jamboree, which is just, I mean, it's awesome. Donkey Kong Country Returns sitting at 180. Um, and these are just for Japan. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, number three. Are you guys shocked? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at almost 6.3 million, which is just wild. Wow. Then you got a PS5 game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is brand new. And it's what's crazy is the jump, you guys. The jump in these Japanese charts. It goes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 10,000. Um, at 10,000. And this is for a week. This is from the 3rd to the 9th of February. Okay. 3rd through the 9th. 10,000 units of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the new PS5 game, didn't even break 6,500. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. And then pretty much everything else at that point is you've got a couple PS5 games, but Animal Crossing is up there, Minecraft is up there, Nintendo Switch Sports is up there, and then It Takes Two on Switch also in that number 10 spot. So uh and I wonder if that one's on sale right now. It might be because of Valentine's Day and stuff. There's a good chance. So just kind of amazing the way Mario Kart is still selling what it's selling. And good to see Donkey Kong is moving units, because again, I feel like it's just a tough one. It's a really fun game, but it's just a little tough to recommend at the price, honestly. And um, and then Super Mario Party Jamboree, we played that today on stream. It's just too good. It's so much fun. So they really knocked it out of the park with that one. And I honestly believe that like word of mouth has really helped move the sales of Super Mario Party Jamboree because um how many of us have recommended it to people we know. And one of the things I love most about that game is while streaming it, the amount of people that have asked, "What are you guys playing right now?" Because it doesn't, if you're doing Koopathlon or you're doing Kaboom Squad, it doesn't look like it does not look like a Mario Party game. It looks like you're playing some crazy Mario co-op that people are like, what is this? So um I love that aspect of it. Just so much to do within that game, just loaded with content. So this one, this news article, really excited to jump into with you guys, and very curious on like I've wanted to have a better understanding of like what is going on with Nintendo and Amazon, and I think we're going to get a little bit of insight here, um, because they really have not been playing nice together for quite some time, and so I don't know I don't know if this is the like the main reason that things have kind of been going south or if it's just part of it. But the headline reads Nintendo and Amazon file for a $7 million dollar default judgment in the fake amiibo suit. So it says the request is conservative, reasonable. Nintendo and Amazon are seeking a default judgment on a joint lawsuit filed back in October of 2023 against sellers alleged to have sold fake Nintendo products on Amazon. Okay, so this is they're going head to head against these sellers, but so there's still something going on. Like something has been going on. Like you couldn't get like eShop cards, digital eShop cards, all of a sudden became really hard to find and or not possible to purchase on Amazon, which was very strange. So, and I've heard that there is some. I wonder if it was Amazon fees or something, if I remember correctly, like something going on that caused a riff. But anyway, so apparently there's been or there was quite a few fake amiibo sellers, which I mean I would assume that it may not only be people selling fake statues or whatever, but potentially selling like those just the NFC cards and whatnot. Like that's all over Amazon. Like it's all over there. So and you can get those cards off of websites like um uh Alibaba or what's the AliExpress, that kind of stuff for like pennies on the dollar. And so I know I know they're very, very easy to come by. And then, you just become an Amazon seller and post them, and there you go. So, getting back to the article here, it says the plaintiffs filed documents in the U.S. earlier this week requesting a default judgment awarding $7 million in damages against third-party sellers accused of selling $2 million worth of counterfeit Nintendo gear, including amiibo and game cards. Wow. Summons were served to the defendants, but they failed to respond, according to new court documents. According to these documents, each of the 27 Nintendo trademark infringements results in a total potential damages of minimum of 27,000 to a maximum of 54 million. The 7 million figure proposed was arrived by tripling the aggregated sales of the counterfeit products, which the doc cites as conservative, reasonable, and in line with the other awards in this district. Nintendo is famous for deploying its legal eagles, of course. And given the number of fake amiibo cards, mini consoles, soundtracks, figurines, and other non official Nintendo products for sale on Amazon and elsewhere, you can see why they'd be keen to deter others. Maybe they should crack out the steamroller again, like they did in the Netherlands back in the 1990s. What? Okay, we're gonna go down a little rabbit trail here. So, this is crazy, you guys. Random images resurfaced from 1994 showing Nintendo destroying counterfeit games with a steamroller. Yo, Mario, you can see Mario is like in a big costume. Look at this. I'll go ahead and bring it up on screen here. Look, look at this. This is crazy. Nintendo seems to be a particularly popular option for counterfeit product makers, and the chances of finding a whole host of knockoff goods at any car boot sale or eBay search is scarcely high. While we don't always see how companies such as the Big N deal with such matters, those recently rediscovered photos show that it's possible the best method we could ever imagine, which is just busting out the steamroller here. I mean, whoa, those are all Game Boy games. Like, just, just crushing them. That is that is wild. They got somebody in a costume, Mafia Mario, right? Like, no joke. So there's a one of the captions is translated here, and it says, "Video game company Nintendo is using a roller to combat piracy um, at Lelystad Airport. 10,000 counterfeit video games were crushed. The Japanese company has started a targeted and structured worldwide campaign to combat forgeries of their video games. The destroyed games came from Hong Kong and were confiscated from a Dutch importing company. So interesting to see them just crushing this stuff. What's okay? What bothers me, if you guys only listen to the audio version and you can't see this photo, I do apologize. I would suggest looking it up. You can just literally type up, Nintendo destroying counterfeit games with Steamroller. I'm sure you'll see them. From 1994, the picture looks like it's from like 1929, right? Other than you can see Game Boy all over the place. Like that thing, it looks like a legitimate like steamroller. Like we use the term steamroller, but like that's a real like there's steam power in that bad boy. That's it's crazy to me. Just absolutely crazy. And yeah, Mario looks like he is definitely a hitman, Joey says, like Mario Hitman. Uh Cryptic Mario Mafia or Mafio Mario before he became a plumber. Um Joey says, who knew getting sued and the legal eagles from Nintendo wasn't the worst way for them to come after you? Right? Yeah. Yeah, this is what the ninjas do, guys. If you get caught by the Nintendo ninjas, it's steamroller time for you. So, you know, I hate to break it to you, but that's that's what you got to watch out for. So, anyway, back to the Smash B roll now. So, moving right along here. Koei Temco Shadow Drop Warriors Abyss arrives on Switch this week. And the little subheading here says 1 versus 1,000 action with rogue-like elements. Rogue light elements. Here we go. So I'll just read the little blurb from the game here. It says, in Warriors Abyss, players control a hero summoned to hell by Enma, the king of the underworld, in a bid to defeat the devilish Goma. In this title, players will dive into the abyss to try to reach the fourth level of hell by fighting their way against hordes of infernal enemies and recruiting the souls of past heroes to their team. While users will play as a single warrior, they will be able to recruit up to 6 additional heroes to assist them in battle using the summoning heroes action. Players will also be able to use the unique tactics of summoned heroes to inflict massive damage to their opponents and strengthen their team while exploring the unique characteristics of each summoned hero, allowing for more than 16 billion possible attack combinations. Wow. Wow. In order to reach Goma, players will have to navigate the realm by selecting the route they wish to take, bearing in mind the obstacles that await them. They can choose a dangerous path that generously rewards them, or a safer path in which they can buy restorative items. Each new attempt to reach the fourth level of hell will be different, featuring randomly generated heroes, items, and routes, allowing players to deploy new strategies to conquer the underworld. So, uh, there you go. Like that honestly sounds pretty good. I'm gonna play the video real quick, and you guys can take a peek if you are watching and not just listening. But I'm curious on how it looks because I mean, you know, typically these games are just kind of your Warriors games are just typically button mashers for the most part, and they can be fun. I tend to get a little bit burned out on them, but like maybe this is the type of game that like this genre of game mixed with a roguelike, maybe it can really shine because it honestly looks really cool from what we're seeing in the trailer here. Like you're seeing so many enemies just getting wiped out, and if the battle mechanics are pretty fun, like the hack and slash elements and whatnot, combined with again with the roguelike, you know, that with that genre, I think it could be um, a winning formula. I'm just again just so curious how how it does play, and if it's something that could keep my attention, because I sometimes struggle. Like it's weird because I can play a Metroid game and I can backtrack as many times as I need to, but when I have to play through these levels, like getting a little bit further every time, for some reason it doesn't pull me in the way I would like it to. But I don't know, the 16 billion battle styles that we're seeing on the screen right now and stuff, there's it seems like there's quite a bit there. So I kind of think that's pretty rad, honestly. So who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure if it's again it's something I would pick up, but if that's your cup of tea, it's um it's out. It's out. So or it's out in 13 minutes, if it isn't out already. So uh, looks like there's a couple different versions of the game as well. So might be worth checking out if you're a Warriors fan. And you know, Warriors meets Hades essentially. Next up, you have Shinobi. Art of Vengeance brings 2D ninja action to Nintendo Switch this August from the creators of Streets of Rage 4. Now, like Shinobi was a series that I loved playing in the arcade, on the Sega Genesis. Like it was one that I really enjoyed, and I love what they're doing with the art style of this game. This isn't the first time we've seen it, and they're showing more um, from the state of play yesterday. But it's shaping up to be something pretty cool, and I think what is it? Lizard Cube, the Streets of Rage 4 team, I feel like everything they've been touching recently has been fantastic. Like it seems like they're doing a great job with some of these classic games. So really love seeing older games not necessarily going 3D and trying, you know, to be super modern, but like getting creative with their art style. And this honestly kind of looks like you're playing a painting or whatnot. So the gameplay doesn't seem to be changed all that much, and honestly, like it looks pretty good. So if you're if you're interested in like, you know, retro style, 2D action platforming, make sure to check out Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Um, Lastly, Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny Remastered, coming to Switch May 2025. Says ahead of Way of the Sword next year. So taking a look here at the article, it says during Sony's State of Play broadcast yesterday, released a new trailer for Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny Remastered. It confirmed this remaster will be arriving for Nintendo Switch and multiple other platforms on the 23rd of May, with pre-orders now live on the eShop. It will set you back $29.99, and the file size is 14 gigs. So, I mean, relatively big. There's a little bit of additional information here. It says Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny returns with HD graphics and modernized controls to perform critical counterattacks and intense swordplay. Play as Jubi Yagyu and make your way through the feudal Japan with your allies. Game has additional language support adapted from the original script. Additional features include new gallery mode with over 100 sketches by game character designer Kieta Emiya, new digital soundtrack selection with all 43 tracks from the original soundtrack of Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny, Hell Mode difficulty. The Man in Black, Team Oni, and Puzzle Phantom Realm mini games will be available to play at the very beginning, and the autosave feature and easy weapon switch for improved playability. So, quick question for you guys in chat, and you can answer this if you're listening after the fact in either Spotify or on YouTube. Do you guys care when companies do like new gallery mode with over a hundred sketches of games character designer um, by the game's character designer? Like, is that something you'll go and look at if you pick up one of these remasters? Like whenever I see that kind of stuff, I know for me, I don't think I ever go and look at like at that kind of stuff. Finding out like the soundtrack selection again. I'm like, I'm probably never gonna mess with that. The hell mode, maybe I would check that out, right? And then it looks like there's some mini like some puzzle games that are I'm assuming were kind of popular, but not you weren't able to play them till later on. That's why they're making them available at the beginning. So um I just know for me personally, like I don't typically, if it's not added gameplay like new levels or characters or something like that, I'm probably not gonna even check it out. Like I don't feel like it does too much for me as far as like uh, adding to the overall allure of something I want to purchase. I'm not like, oh, there's 100 new sketches. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and grab this thing. Like it just doesn't have much of a pull for me personally. So let me know. Let me know in the comments if that kind of stuff is a big pull for you. Taking a quick look here at the remainder of the article, it says there's also a save data bonus where you can unlock special outfit for Juby if you have save data from Onimusha Warlords. Um, and so Brian Brian says, "Why do you hate art?" I don't hate art. I just know like if it's in game like that, I'm typically not gonna go look at it. Like typically, maybe that's my bad. Maybe I need to become a little more cultured, but it's just I'm there to play the game. I mean, and again, uh maybe if it was a game that I was like, if Super Mario, you know what? I'll say it this way. I do care about it. I don't care about it as much in game, but if it's a game series that I uh really like, I do care. For instance, it was either Super Mario Maker or Super Mario All Stars when it re-released on the Wii. That had like I think it had a book in it that had a bunch of the artwork from how like the level design for Super Mario Brothers was done on graph paper. Like there was a lot done on graph paper because they could have basically just see what the pixels could do by coloring them in and looking at the levels uh and so yeah, that does interest me. So maybe it just boils down to like how much of a game I'm uh how drawn to a particular game I am that would make me open that up. I still don't know that's going to be like a big selling point for me personally, but I'm sure it may be for somebody else. So lots again, like I said, there was a lot. There was a lot tonight just in news. We're almost 40 minutes in. And so uh not not sure not sure if we're gonna see crawler or not. Hopefully we do. We are gonna get into our 3DS conversation in just a minute here. So um Joey says making video games have evolved so much. I love to see a documentary on the evolution of video games. There's a handful of them out there. One is just called Video Game, the movie. Um, that's got that's got some history in it. Console Wars definitely got some history in it. I recommend reading the Console Wars book. There's a number of audiobooks out there that are really really good when it comes to just kind of getting the history the history of games. Um, you know the it it gets wild when you learn about the stuff that was happening at like Atari back when they were you know at the height of their of their business and just the craziness that that took place on the campus. It's pretty wild, honestly. It's pretty wild. So super fun to learn about that stuff. But let's jump into the 3DS game library. What we would love to see make its way to the Nintendo Switch and or the Switch 2, because again, it's my assumption that going forward, we're going to see remakes and remasters coming to Switch 1 and Switch 2. And there's a massive library of 3DS games that they can pull from and that are fantastic. And we've not only have we seen them do that recently, we've been technically seeing them do it all along. So once we start going through this list, there may be a few surprises that you were like, "Wait a minute, that was a 3DS game." And yeah, so pulling up the list here. First up, um, we got Animal Crossing and Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. Okay, so like Animal Crossing is my most played game on 3DS, and there are some aspects of New Leaf that are better than New Horizons, right? Like, um, it they're just you can dress up like Samus, you can dress up like Link, you can dress up like Mario and Luigi, which that ended up coming out with Animal Crossing New Horizons as well. But um, they I don't know. There was just so much done right. Like another aspect of it, if you found the Wii U or you found the 3DS, you could actually unlock and play those systems. And they were like they basically had little. There was like a Tetris attack, and it was like a one of the variants of kind of like a variant of one of the games on Amiibo Festival, which nothing to really get excited about there, but still, the fact that they had a game within a game was very Animal Crossing because you go all the way back to the first Animal Crossing, and there was NES games you could dig up and play that way. And so, I feel like Animal Crossing would be either New Leaf would be great for a remake. Think think ultimately what I would really love to see is an Animal Crossing collection. I think being able to have like I think there's what four games prior to New Horizon, and being able to play the GameCube, play the Wii, the DS, and the 3DS all on again portable or on the TV depending on your preference. I would love that. I would love that. And so I think there's they could they could do New Leaf and combine Happy Home Designer and honestly make it a full package if they needed to wait to get the next game out. I think going that route would be great for them just to um, allow the community to have more Animal Crossing time on the next system. So I'm kind of just gonna go through this list. There's some of these games. There's like, yeah, no, we these would be great NSO titles because they get like looked at once or twice, and then we'd move on. You have Art Academy, lessons for everyone. Brian's like, why do you hate art? I don't hate art. It's just um again, it's more of a learning thing than an actual game you're playing. Next up, Brain Age Concentration Training, and we did see some Brain Age games make their way to Switch. And what was the other one? Like, um, it was a Big Brain Academy or whatever. That was actually a really fun multiplayer game to play local couch co-op. So do recommend them. Now, Bravely Default and Bravely Second. And I know we got one of them on the Switch, but I think I wanna check. Bravely Yeah, it was Bravely Default 2. I wanna see which ones made it to Switch. Yeah, it's just Bravely Default 2. So, honestly, I think seeing that full collection make its way to Switch would be fantastic also. Now, this is this was, published I believe published by uh, Nintendo, but obviously it's not a first party Nintendo game here, so I don't need that playing. I just wanted to get a little more info. So um, it's it, the more I'm all about being able to have like complete libraries of certain games to where like I want all the Mario Karts on Switch 2. I want all the Mario games on Switch 2. These these games here, the Bravely Default, like that series, I think it would be great to uh, to be able to have the full um, just the full all the games in that series on one on one system. So I'm just kind of going through. Yeah, publisher is Nintendo, and all the Smash Bros games. Exactly. Yes, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. So I want to say these are Square, I believe. I believe Square did the Silicon Silicon Studio. Okay. So I was incorrect. That's why I want to like I'm trying to find who did it. So um the series RPGs from Nintendo and Square Enix. Yeah, so I was correct. Maybe Silicon Studio might be like, part of. Oh, it looks like okay, so it's joint published by Nintendo Japan and Square Enix. So there we go. The developers were Silicon Studio. I'm like, I just want to make sure I get it right. So, yeah. But anyway, again, that's another series from the 3DS that like it's a little quirky. I think it's a little bit like the art style is a little bit quirky and whatnot, but I think overall they're great games. You've also got Bravely Second, right? So that whole series just kind of being trapped between a couple of systems. It's just not ideal. So this one kind of caught me off guard because I'd forgotten. But Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker was a 3DS game, right? I remember playing it on Wii U. I've played it. I played it on Switch, but here we are looking at our first 3DS title um, that has been put on Switch. We just had Donkey Kong Country, right? Which again, it was a Wii game. Then came to 3DS as a remake. But the version everybody kind of assumes the version that we got is the 3DS version, not the Wii version. So just some interesting things going on there. Chibi Robo, I don't like. I feel like we don't really hear much about that series. Maybe this next this next go with the Switch 2, maybe we'll hear more from Chibi Robo. Um, Taking a look through some of these games like Detective Pikachu, we've got a Detective Pikachu on Switch. A handful of Disney, like Mickey Mouse, looks like Magical World 2, um, Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers. Like, I don't, do you guys remember this one? I think you're playing this like a cowboy armadillo, if I remember correctly. And I think he made it into Smash as like a trophy or something. Joey's asking, are the Animal Crossing games for 3DS smaller than the Switch one? Want to dive into the franchise, but worried it'll be too big and suck me in too much. You're going to be in about the same boat. Here's what I can tell you with Animal Crossing: you can you can drop hours and hours and hours into that game, or you can do a little bit at a time each day. And essentially, the game is kind of set up to have dailies to where you jump in, you maybe you go and depending on your settings, but like it used to be like you pick your fruit, you'd hit your rock, get the bells out of your rock and pick up uh like the recipes and whatnot that were like in the bottles on your beach. And then other than that, like you could spend some time like just getting, decorating and do that kind of stuff and then call it a day and then pick it up and go back to it. So it's the beauty of Animal Crossing. It's really um how you want to play it. And so and it's also really easy to uh put down and then come back to. it's not like you're playing an RPG where you've like I like if I were to go back and play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 right now, I'd be like, I do not remember the controls. I don't remember how to like create orbs or any of that stuff. So definitely um I would recommend like if you know it's a if you have the 3DS, I mean you could try New Leaf, but you're gonna spend as much time in it. I would assume if you get into it, it also has to pull you in, right? So that's my that's that's my take on there. Like if you have a 3DS already and you can find a cheap copy of New Leaf, go for it. But I think you'll I think I think New Horizons is a fantastic game. And like you could like I said, you kind of just do your dailies, maybe do a little bit of fishing, hunt a few bugs, and then and then call it a day. There's a lot more to do early on, but then once you kind of get to a certain point, there's there's stuff you can do daily, but there's not a ton. Depending on the day, like red might show up with a piece of artwork or something like that. And so you just want to make sure that you're checking in to see who's stopping in and if they've got anything that you're wanting to collect. So now, I'm looking at some of the Dragon Quest games that are here, right? We've got Dragon Quest 7, Quest 8. Of course, they have Donkey Kong Country, the 3D returns, which we already have. Ever Oasis is another one. Fantasy Life. Here's where I think they could dig into a vast library of games, and that's Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Echoes, Fire Emblem Fates, Birthright, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, and then Fire Emblem Warriors. Guess what? Already on the Switch. So, and there's two Fire Emblem Warrior games on the Switch. But what I find interesting, and I honestly kick myself for never, for not picking up the Fire Emblem games on 3DS, especially Fates and Birthright or Birthright and Conquest. If you like, let me look up real quick. How much these things are worth because I remember years ago, which the games aren't even like they're not like super old. Um, it was it was crazy how much they were selling uh the two pack for. Yeah, so Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition. It's honestly it's super sick looking too. So let me see. Just head into eBay right now. Yeah. Yeah. So, Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition with box, opened $383, right? $400. Just the just wait, wait. I'm sorry. Let me make sure. So, hmm, if this was something you pulled the trigger on, I would make sure to do a lot of researching prior because just the cart. See, the special edition of this game had both games on one cart. That's why it's so sought after, but there's somebody selling just the cart for 469. So, that's why I'm looking at some of these prices going, is this legit? In some cases, they're selling, like, just the box and the sleeve for, like, almost $300. So and even a steel book, like, this is a rabbit hole I gotta stay away from because yeah, I will go broke looking at all the different, like, versions of Fire Emblem. Here's one, guys. The, special edition with keychain bonus, $800. $800. So, uh, I do believe they are great games. I think Fire Emblem Awakening is considered one of the best Fire Emblem games, and so I know that these are games that Nintendo could probably tap into to uh, probably get more life out of them. and I think the fan base is there. Cryptic saying, these were the Fire Emblem games that made Fire Emblem mainstream. Yeah, yeah. Awakening, definitely. Awakening. I bought and played for a while, but like I still didn't. I still didn't get into the gameplay as much as I thought I would, and I eventually got stuck. I think I got stuck because I probably didn't pay attention to something that I was like supposed to be doing. Um, I basically hit a wall essentially, and so just taking a quick peek here though, uh, Fire Emblem Awakening. I don't. I want to say this one was, yeah, it's not too bad. You can get it. You can get it for 39.99. So it's not. And again, the fates, the separate carts, not all that expensive. It's just that special edition is where it it starts to go crazy. And so uh it's just, yeah, I just kind of kicked myself because I was kind of starting to get into Fire Emblem a little bit at that time, and but just didn't have enough information or knowledge to pull the trigger back then like I wish I had. So um just kind of continuing on here. We got Hey Pikmin, which I don't think it was liked well enough to really justify having it get put on Switch. But here's one that already made it to Switch: Hyrule Warriors Legends. Hyrule Warriors Legends. So we're seeing, we have seen quite a few of these games. Now, granted, they were on, they were on Wii U, but like Nintendo was double dipping on a lot of these because the install base of the 3DS far surpassed that of the Wii U. So why wouldn't they do that? So, you know, I'm glad that we're seeing these are fun games. They deserve to be played. And Fire Hyrule Warriors Legends, it's again, it's a Warriors game, so you've got to be into that just kind of that hack and slash, real like kind of mindless fun. But they do have some added elements to them as well. Like they try to they try to you know, like lean into the fact that it's Zelda or lean into the fact that it's Fire Emblem, so you can still kind of get a taste of what the mainline games are like while playing these just these kind of offshoots of the main series. So uh it, it's still just, it's interesting to me how many 3DS games we've already seen on Switch. Kind of going through the list, you got Kid Icarus Uprising, which I think was mostly motion controls, but I do wonder if we at some point do see a sequel to Uprising. Scrolling a little bit further here, these are fantastic. You've got Kirby Planet Robobot, which that's been in the news quite a bit, of Nate the Hate saying that's coming to Switch. Kirby Triple Deluxe, and then Kirby Extra Epic Yarn. I mean, they're all potential games we could see making their way to the Switch, and they're fantastic. I have played some of Robobot, and it reminds me so much of the first level in Mega Man X, which is just so good, like so good. That first level, if you have a chance to play it, it will suck you in, and there's even just some really good story elements that are incorporated into that game, and I love it. Now, a game that I feel 100% needs to be put on the Switch is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds is so good. Is so good. It does kind of a strange thing where they tried to make it a little bit, I want to say maybe a little bit easier for like a younger audience, where you could purchase some of your power-ups that you typically would have to unlock or find. But I think you can play the game playing it like a classic Zelda. It's just those power-ups are there for you to buy if you want them. And so uh I think it's ultimately a good uh, choice, especially if it's going to get more people playing Zelda games. But it is I felt like a kid again playing this one, like, it felt a lot like playing, A Link to the Past, and, so I do recommend it. I played all the way through that. The moment it dropped, I couldn't get enough of it. As far as Zelda goes, of course, you've got Majora's Mask, you've got Ocarina of Time 3D, and you've got Triforce Heroes as well. And I mean, quick little tangent on Triforce Heroes. Like, I know it wasn't like talked about as a game that people like really loved, right? And but I feel like, especially since it's Nintendo, I would love to see them like refine the Triforce Heroes style of game and really make it something worthwhile. Make it something that we want to play. And the direction I would love to see it go is, you know, I personally would love to see a Metroid game that you could play as your own bounty hunter, and maybe Samus shows up, is kind of an NPC, but not a character that you control, right? I would love to see something like with Zelda and Triforce Heroes that's very similar, where it's instead of playing as like a bunch of links, maybe we play as our own character, and maybe we can, give them a little bit of lore or whatever the case, because it's really funny how they incorporate like these Triforce hero games into the mainline, uh into the, the totally bizarre lore of Zelda. But I think being able to like create your own hero essentially, and then, maybe choosing some different weapons. As you can see from the box art of, or you guys can't see it, but the box art of Triforce Heroes, you can see there's like green-haired Link with the sword and blue-haired Link with the bow and arrow, and like the red-haired Link with the fire. So um, I think there's some really fun elements there. I think they just need to um, like take it in take it in a bit of a different direction to really draw more people into it. Cryptic says, yes, definitely. At the time, it was so much nostalgia um, s- seeing a link to the past worlds again. Yes, it really was. It really, really was, and I loved it. And even getting to see that in Echoes was fantastic. Cryptic also says, I enjoyed Triforce Heroes, but um, I like the idea being able to create your Link and equip him with unique gear, tackle different dungeons. Felt like a mix between Monster Hunter and Diablo. Yeah, yeah. So that to me would be really fun to to see it like really fleshed out now with, better just you have more people like playing on like online. And there was it was kind of interesting, like, you couldn't really play Triforce Heroes unless you were, you had to have everybody had to have the game. I'm assuming maybe you could do download play, but then, a lot of it was tied to online. And even like, what was like, Metroid Prime, um, Federation Force, right? Like, just like a few tweaks to these games, and they could have been they could have been so much better. And so I don't know. I would love to see something like that just kind of fleshed out. And, maybe it is this first game, and uh and then maybe we see a sequel that that improves on a lot of those mechanics. And, yeah, like Cryptic was saying, both of these games, I believe, were hard to play solo, like, because you had these, like, puzzle elements that, were much easier if you had, AI that was just a bit smarter, or playing with a person. And I love, honestly, I really love what Cryptic's saying here, like, that feeling between, like, Monster Hunter and Diablo. Like, yes, like, The Legend of Zelda, but like with those characters, but in a game maybe a little similar to that. And ultimately, where this stems from with me is, I've said it with Metroid, like, I'd love Metroid uh Prime to have like an offshoot kind of like Federation Force, but something that is good, that kind of plays like Destiny, where um, it's more co-op based, and you could do like essentially do strikes or bounties with your friends, and even to incorporate like loot into some of these games, and just that dangling carrot, like I think it would be pretty fun. So I see Nady Nay is here. What's going on, baby? How are you? Um, Cryptic says Metroid Federation Force could have been like Halo Reach with the different hunters, Spartans working together. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like they just ever so slightly missed the mark that could have been that could have made them like really good and really fun. And there's still some stuff there. There's definitely genres that Nintendo hasn't completely tapped into, or uh you know, I feel like they have the IP to be able to take Metroid and make it kind of like Destiny, but obviously like, you know, more fleshed out than just a Destiny clone. But to do something there that would just be really, really fun. Like running strikes in Destiny was a blast. Like you'd get together with two of your friends, you'd just be chatting the whole time, and um taking out, taking out the horde, and just having or the what were they, the I can't even remember all the different names in Destiny now, but like it was fun. And then even having like three different classes where maybe the hunters are or the bounty hunters are just a little bit, different. I don't know exactly how Nintendo pulls it off in my mind, but I would love to see what they could do. Like, I think it could be a lot of fun. Cryptic says, "Yeah, Destiny like would be nice. There's so much lore that doesn't get touched. We see a glimpse of hunters in Metroid Prime 3, and to be able to learn their backstory would be amazing." Yeah, yeah, and I mean, um, we had that the hunters game, right? But there wasn't too much lore to that. There was a little bit, but yeah, to really dig into that and kind of, and it's tough because like when you look at the hunters, they're all kind of specifically designed around one thing, and so maybe maybe that's the route it has to go, where you kind of design your hunter around one style. But then maybe you could, I mean, all they got to do is like incorporate some kind of like um, laboratory where you're like, yo, I'm gonna go change the type of hunter I am, or my mate, like I'm gonna go to being more, more agile and less tanky. And so I don't know. I feel like there could be a ton of fun right there. Um, Joey Pitts says a Metroid movie would be sick, to be honest. Yes, yes. So, and then Cryptic's last thing here: doing strikes and customizing your own bounty hunter. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So, moving along, we've got Luigi's Mansion and Luigi's Mansion 2, which again 2 is here, and so Cryptic says you could be like a shadow hunter, but have like a subclass. Yep. Yeah, yeah, and, Cryptic and I played some Smash tonight, and, he's got the Dark Samus main, which is just super, super cool, and, so yeah, having, like, the dark variants or whatever of your character and of your hunter, I don't know, it it could be it could be something that could be really special and a lot of fun. But again, it's a massive, massive job. It's not like something that just happens overnight, right? Like Destiny, essentially a live service game. It would be getting into areas that Nintendo is um, not not quite there yet. So Nate says, I really want to see what the scrap Metroid Prime 4 looked like. You're super curious. That's yeah, that would be really, I wonder if we will ever see what was up with that. Cryptic says I want Luigi's Mansion 1 so bad in HD. And I've never played it. I've never played the first one. So I've played probably three quarters of the way through 2 and probably three quarters of the way through 3. but never touched one, and would love the chance to be able to get. And again, it goes into my whole thing about like get all the games from these series, and why did they go from three to two and then one? Like I understand one is a relatively short game, so why not do a Luigi's Mansion like pack? Do a pack, and all of a sudden that $60 price tag doesn't seem quite as shocking because you're able to say I got two games here. And I think I think it would have been great. And again, just my own selfish reasons. I want to be able to play Luigi's Mansion 1, 2, and 3 on my Switch. I don't want to have to open up my 3DS to do that. So next up on the list is a fantastic series that I've just recently gotten into, and that's you got Mario and Luigi's Dream Team, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, and Paper Jam, and then Superstar Saga. Right? Like I feel like if sales didn't go as well for Brothership as they hoped, then being able to get remakes of other games in that series, I would love to visit some of these, right? I would really enjoy it. So think I think it may be something we see at some point. Cryptic says, yeah, it's odd. It's odd because Luigi's Mansion 3 was so great. It was hard going to Luigi's Mansion 2, which was a good game, but there is a reason it's not so beloved. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I think again, I think a collection on that one would have been like kind of a home run for him. Joey Pitt says we need a collection of Mario and Luigi games. I agree. I agree. I just is I can see them potentially doing like two, maybe three games, but two probably at the most. And even that, I'm hard pressed to believe that they would. But it would be great. And again, if we get 3DS on NSO, that goes away. We just play 3DS games on NSO and call it good. Moving on here, and I'm skipping some of these guys. I'm not touching every game. I'm just kind of going off of what I've played and what I really enjoy. But we've got almost two full rows of games that like I'm all about. You got Mario Golf World Tour, the best Mario Golf game to date. The best Mario Golf game to date. Like I'd want to go through the GameCube game again just to make sure, but there's so much good about World Tour that uh that they dropped the ball on in Super Rush. It's crazy. So would really love to see that. You got Mario Kart 7 again, fantastic. We've seen a lot of their tracks. Don't know if we really need their gimmick again. And then you got three Mario parties, right? Which I'm where I'm at with Mario Party. I don't need these 3DS remakes by any means. I just need more content for Jamboree. And if they did a direct and they announced DLC for Jamboree, or like almost like not necessarily a season pass, but like a well, I guess it's kind of a season pass, but like how they did the fighter pass for Smash. If they said, hey, if you buy this party voucher or whatever the case is, you can get all the DLC as it drops, and um, it it just adds more to that game. That's really what I'm after. I don't necessarily need remakes of these older games, but again, that puts them in that place to be able um to put that like get them on NSO, and then it's something we can still go back and play. So Joey Pitts was asking, wasn't there a Mario baseball game on 3DS? And Cryptic says it's part of the sports mix, and that's the next game on the list here. You have Mario Sports Superstars. Here's the thing with Mario Sports Superstars, it's probably one of the best Mario Sports games I've played in a long time. You have pretty much everything that you love, pretty much everything that you love, and they literally took um, courses right out of Mario Golf World Tour, and it's there. You got Mario Tennis Open again. The, you got levels right out of that game in Superstars, and then you've got the baseball, soccer, and then the horseback riding. Like it's a complete it's a complete package for sure, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun, most importantly. So, and it even had amiibo cards, which were kind of strange, but I grabbed a few of them just because I was like, just add them to the collection. But uh, yeah, yeah. Joey Pitt says I actually got a dream game that would be Mario Football. Oh yes, yeah, it'd be super fun. Having charging chucks all over the place, I'm here for it. I mean, especially I've spent a little more time with Strikers recently, and I think Strikers is honestly really good. It's just got a handful of flaws, you know? It's just got a few things that needed tweaked. So going through the list a little bit more, backing up to chat, I'm sorry. Cryptic says, "The tournaments in Mario Golf was so good. No rush, and everyone could do their matches weekly. We really just missed in the was really missed in the Switch version. I still enjoy the Switch version, but it wasn't fully realized. No, and but I think that partially has to do with the sales of World Tour. Uh the sales of World Tour, it didn't even break half a million. And so I don't know what they were expecting, but I mean, there was licensing deals and everything with like, um, what was it? TaylorMade and Callaway, like, and so I don't know if it paid off in the end. And it's unfortunate because it's so good, but again, not even half a million in sales. So it's almost like the nail in the coffin of like, okay, well, we'll do these still, but you're going to you're gonna get these not as full versions any longer. And so Joey's saying, I got Strikers. It was fun for 30 minutes, and then I felt like something was missing. Yeah, yeah. I have a whole like I've been working on for a little while. I got a whole video getting into the sports games, and so they all three of the major sports games on Switch, great foundation, like great foundations for all of them. Just a handful of missteps and a few tweaks, I think, and they could have been amazing. So Joe is here. What's going on? Welcome on in. We're going through 3DS games that we'd love to see uh, come to Switch, either as a remaster or on NSO. I'm seeing Super Mario Brothers, the new Super Mario Brothers 2, and I know I don't give new Super Mario Brothers that much love, right? But they're still games I played. I played the DS and the 3DS versions, played all the way through. Like really really enjoyed them. They were kind of again relatively easy games, like but still would love to see love to see all the Mario games. And part of me is secret hoping that like we get a new Super Mario Brothers All Stars for Mario's 40th, and we get all four. Um, well, and even if it was just all three, actually, because Deluxe is already on Switch. Super Mario Bros. U is already on Switch, so they could just do the three, which would be great. So um, and Joe says, GameCube games for sure. OG Luigi's Mansion would be amazing. Yeah, yeah. We were just discussing that of the because it's on 3DS, the Luigi's Mansion and Luigi's Mansion 2, which just recently came out on Switch. So um we've mentioned it a few times with Metroid Federation Force and then Metroid Samus Returns. That needs to be on Switch. There's rumor that there's a new 2D Metroid in the works. Not sure if it's if an actual new Metroid or if they're working on the remake for Samus Returns. But I did recently just play through Samus Returns, and man, I wish more people could play it. It's done so well. It's done so well, and you can really see in Returns how much they wanted to do with it that they were then able to do with Dread, and Dread was just so good. So next up, you got Metopia. And we got the Nintendog series, which I think would be so great to finally see, just to see the light of day again. And I think there's an audience for Nintendogs, honestly, because I know all my kids. If my kids found out that Nintendogs was coming out, they would be so stoked, so stoked. So, would love to see that. You've got Paper Mario Sticker Star, which would be great, and then of course we get into a ton of different Pokemon games. You got Pilot Wings Resort. Moving on over to the last page of these games here. Again, more Pokemon games. Yoshi's Woolly World, fantastic game, but that's one that's already on Switch, right? Like, are you guys a bit surprised hearing how many how many of these games were on 3DS that are on the Switch already? Like, it's a little bit shocking to think about. Like when you really start putting two and two together, you're like, that's interesting. It's interesting. It's not just in some cases, it's not just Wii U titles. It is 3DS titles. And in other cases, it's just 3DS. There's no, Luigi's Mansion 2 or Dark Moon is only on um is only on 3DS. It wasn't on Wii U. So but it did kind of shock me a little bit to see so many games that are on 3DS have been ported over to Switch. Cryptic says yes, Samus Returns was good. I didn't play the Game Boy version, but honestly, it's hard games to go. Yeah, it's a hard game to go back to. So it's nice that Samus Returns is the definitive version, like Zero Mission. Yeah, my thing is let this team reboot the entire series. Like, let them do one. As much as it would pain me to say it, let them do Super Metroid. Like, I would love to see after what they did with Dread, I would love to see what they would do with Super Metroid. Like take it and run with it, please. Like, I would love it. So, just taking a quick peek at the remaining games here. Of course, we got Professor Layton and Ace Attorney. Got Sonic Lost World, game called Spirit Camera. Here's Star Fox 64 3D, which was pretty good. And then you got Steel Diver right next to it. Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns, and Style Savvy, Fashion Forward. Some of these games, I'm like, what? These are. I'm surprised to see that these were um, in this list, honestly. So, uh, because I just went to Nintendo published games. Yeah, there's interesting ones here. Um, Games that I would not miss at all: Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario Maker 3DS, which again, I mean, probably don't really need it for any reason. Super Smash for 3DS, again, I don't really need it. We have Ultimate. Ultimate is like, it's fantastic. It's got a lot of four in it already, so wouldn't necessarily need that. It's one of those things to have that history in the palm of our hands. I do love that. Um, Cryptic says the counter mechanic is such an awesome mechanic. Makes the game feel fast and yes, it really does. It really does. When I'm talking about Metroid Returns or Samus Returns, yeah, yeah. It just the way she just stands and basically stares anything down. Like, she's just unwavering, which I think is just super super sick. So, um, Sushi Strikers. You guys remember Sushi Strikers and already on the Switch, right? That launched. I think it launched on both 3DS and Switch at the same time because those did overlap for a little while. Um, Here's like Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm playing it. I'm playing it right now on on my on my Switch. It's my before I fall asleep at night game that I've been playing, and it's been good. Tamagotchi Life, which I know people would lose their minds over. They would lose their minds over this. The Ultimate NES remix. Like, we got NES World Championship. Bring out Ultimate NES remix. It's so good. It's so good, and just incorporate more community elements into all of it. It's game over. It would make that game playable for quite some time, especially with weekly challenges and all that kind of stuff. Like would be so good. You got WarioWare Gold, which is not a series I have too much information or too much knowledge on. And then lastly, from the games that I would um, now, here's what I find interesting. This last one is Yoshi's New Island. Not really very well beloved. Like, not people weren't really into it all that much. I didn't hate it. The time I spent with it, I was like, this isn't horrible. This ain't bad. So, uh, but I didn't have a reference point either because I'd never really played um, any of the uh, any of the games. And I do feel like Yoshi games on their own are better, and I think they're better than like Yoshi's Story and Yoshi's Island with like the Baby Mario mechanic. Uh, but it's that was when I didn't really mind. I didn't beat it, but it's still in my library. Like I don't I still own a copy. And again, like I've said in multiple scenarios, multiple times, it's just a matter of being able to go, I feel like playing a Yoshi game. I have all of them on my Switch. Which one do I want to go with? Right? That's what I'm looking for. That is what I'm looking for. So, taking a look at chat here, it says, "I know we don't need Mario Maker 1 3DS, but I want to shout out the costumes you could get with the amiibo." There you go. There you go. Right? Yeah. So, again, just some cool stuff there for sure. No question. And we just looked at a pretty massive list. These are 3DS games published by Nintendo. I was, ultimately going for more first party because you got games like Yokai Watch and whatnot, like in this at the end of this list as well. Not really stuff I have any draw to. I'm more focused on first party Nintendo games, and I'm in most of these cases I'd be completely fine with just an NSO update that brings 3DS into the fold. It just gives so many more people the chance to play some of these fantastic games. But that being said, if Nintendo's plan is to continue selling remakes and remasters, this is going to be where they pull, right? I would assume this is going to be where they pull from. It seems like it's almost like easy for them to get these games onto Switch, and so that's just kind of what I'm expecting. Let's see here. Joey says, not 3DS, but I hope Mario Kart DS makes it someday. That was my introduction to Mario Kart. Yo, so good. So good. What a fantastic title that is. Just amazing, honestly. So, well, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. We're almost at an hour and a half, which is crazy. Crawler was not able to make it. You guys can you can yell at him in Discord and say, why were you playing Call of Duty instead of talking with Josh? And so make sure to harass him a little bit. Last thing here from Cryptic says, I think if I had to choose one of these remaining games, I think A Link Between Worlds is a must. Yeah, it it is. It is. There's no question. It's hard for me to choose that over Samus Returns, but I do think they are both really really good, and they both gave me that feeling of just kind of like feeling like a kid and just really um enjoying the nostalgia with the um updated graphics and game mechanics and all that kind of stuff that comes with that. So, and Joey Pitt says, "Bring Rob back." Yes, I know that's a Mario Kart reference. I love it. I love it. Well, thanks again, guys, for listening. I appreciate you all so very much, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.